Sorry,
that.
Gene, I'm taking over. I was taking over. So, Bravo. How about you
Sure.
introduce us to the recommendation?
Wow, you know the vibe. Let's get this one. Okay.
Tell us what it's about and why you recommended it.
Okay. So, Peeps, the last episode almost a month ago, I recommended the movies. There were two movies. By the way, there were two movies that I wanted you guys and Blandon and Gene, or Dan to watch. It was Curse of the Blair Witch and the Blair Witch Project. So let me just tell you which one is the movie and which one is like the documentary type thing. So Curse of the Blair Witch premiered or aired on the Sci-Fi Channel a few days before the actual movie, The Blair Witch Project was. And basically, The Curse of the Blair Witch was aired to make it seem like the movie that was coming out, which was The Blair Witch Project, was real. It had posters of the three students who were missing, quote unquote missing. It had family interviews from apparent family members. And it also had the story of the Blair Witch to kind of give it an illusion of it being real and to get the audience hyped up pretty much. That premiered, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I read some article said it was like 2 days before, some say it was like a week before, so I'm not sure, but it was within a week span. And then after that came out, a few days later, the actual movie, The Blair Witch Project, came out. Pretty much what it's about, it's three college students go into the forest. It's based in Burkesville, Maryland, if I'm not mistaken. It used to be Blair, Maryland, but then after everything happened, they rearranged and called it Burkesville, if I'm not mistaken. Burkesville or Burkesville.
Mm-hmm.
And there are three students, Josh, Hannah, and Mike. Josh and Mike are like the audio and camera producers, while Hannah is the one who's leading the documentary. It's a documentary that they are filming about the Blair Witch and the Blair Witch history. So essentially, they go into the woods, they park their car in the middle of nowhere, and they start walking and walking and walking and walking and walking and walking. Hannah starts getting worried. So does Mike and Josh. But Hannah says, I got this under control. I know where we're going. We passed this rock. It seems like she's always trying to signal that we passed this rock. So it's this way. And we passed this tree. So it must be this way. Or go all the way south. Go all the way north. Like, what the hell? Come on. You're lost. I was like, come on. I was like, bitch, you're lost. Come on. Just let's be real. Come on. Right?
Yeah.
By the way, I wasn't calling her a bitch. I was just saying I would say that to a guy too. So
I'd say she was a bitch.
Just making that clear. Okay. All right. Anyways, so pretty much throughout the movie, Hannah is just completely. Mike is losing it. He's just going crazy. Josh is the one who's trying to get everything under control, and Hannah just doesn't want to accept the fact that she has been lost, and she has just ruined their lives. So they seem to be going in circles, and throughout the movie, they camp. They're fucking crazy. It's fake, but they camp throughout the night. When they're in their tents, it's cold, it's rainy. They always wake up to something new the next day, whether it be twigs. That's a big symbol of the Blair Witch. Twigs that are arranged in a stick figure motion of a human. They find rocks perfectly aligned, stacked, and they start seeing things, hearing noises. And then Josh goes missing. They go looking for him. They hear him, but they can't find him. And at the end, they go towards a house. They find a house. This is Hannah and Mike, who are still the ones surviving. And essentially, they go into the house. It's scary. I don't know why the fuck they would do that. Of course, it would have to be that a house just appears in the middle of no fucking nowhere. And they go into the house. They start hearing Josh screaming upstairs, then downstairs. They're in this room. They're in that room. Essentially, they separate for a bit. Hannah starts screaming for no fucking reason. I don't know why. Well, Mike's looking for Josh. And it ends that they're both screaming. Mike is in the corner looking at, it looks like that guy was just taking a piss, but apparently not. He was just in a trance or something. And the way they shot it, it's so good because you would, what happened? What happened? I'm lost.
He looks like he's taking a piss. This man is possessed. He's just like taking a leak.
Didn't not look like he was taking a fucking piss.
Just a quick trip to the loo, you know?
A quick trip to yes. And the way they filmed it at the end, it looks like Mike is just knocked out by someone or something. The camera falls, it starts losing recording, and you just hear them screaming, and it ends. And
so
that's pretty much the Blair Witch. There's really not much to.
Did you like it?
I don't.
I don't know.
Okay. The documentary, the mockumentary that aired before it, a few days before it, I really didn't like it. I didn't like it personally. I think the interviews were too, I don't know, corny, cringy. I was like, oh, fuck this. I watched it, but I was like, ew, this. Maybe back in the day, back in 1999, if I was in their times, then hell yeah, I would have believed it. But, and then the Blair Witch, I don't know. There wasn't really much to it. I mean, I know their documentary is based in the woods, so everything's gonna be in the woods. But I don't know. I just didn't like it. They didn't. Not one time did they go into a scene where their parents are worried. Like I would have thought, like, damn, they would at least go into some scenes where their mom's crying or they're looking for them. Lead something. They would start a search, but nothing. It was just them fucking going around in circles, going south, north. Got me feeling like I'm immigrating to the U.S. again.
Dan, have you seen the episode of Futurama with Harold Zoid?
Yes, yeah.
And he's like, throw a pie for God's sake.
So I say that all the time. Someone throw a pie for God's sakes.
That's what Bravo was expecting. Like, just because you're in a serious movie doesn't mean you can't add a little comment.
Nah, bro, that was different. But
so yeah, because I know
overall,
I know you were very excited.
I was really excited for it. Very excited. And at the end, I'll give it a solid out of 5. I'll give it a 3.5. It really did not make me. After I saw it, I was like, okay. I mean, it was good, but I could have wanted a little bit more backstory. Maybe, like I said, some scenes out of 5.
Yeah,
3.5.
Okay,
3.5.
Okay.
It wasn't bad, but it definitely wasn't good. So,
Can I go first?
I don't know. It's just
didn't Bravo just go
first? No, I mean after.
I was liking it at the beginning. I was liking it in the beginning because I'm like, oh fuck yeah. But yeah.
So
no, I went. Yeah. So now it's Dan.
So yeah. So that is so funny. That's so interesting, Bravo, because I've never seen this movie, but I know just about all the background, the whole legend around it. So like you said, essentially this movie in the 90s when it was coming out, this is a very groundbreaking movie to where it was one of the first movies to be do the whole
other in the 90s.
What's the handheld like first person perspective camera, like it's like
shaky cam.
Yeah, it's like home video, like the home video genre that became the Blair Witch
shaky
Project
cam, home video,
started that. And in addition to that, they also in the 90s, they like you said, they kind of hyped it up as if this was a real found footage. Like they really found this footage and it's real. It really happened.
A year after, and it's real.
They kind of insinuated that. And so that was a huge deal at the time. And the movie was so
like the marketing campaign, you mean, right?
Yeah, the marketing campaign was that it was real. And so I've known about this movie. If any like horror person like this was, and I'm not a big horror person, but just this movie is a classic in the horror genre just for how groundbreaking it was. And not that groundbreaking doesn't mean it's good. Groundbreaking just means it invented something that influenced literally so many horror movies to come. So I went into this movie, I appreciated a lot of everything that it did. If I never watched a horror movie before in my life and I never saw a found footage movie before, I would probably have loved this movie. And if I was living in the 90s, I loved that it had such a 90s feel. I'll say what I liked about it. It had such a 90s feel. And it really did. They really did dedicate like the whole it's real. Like, so they did really dedicate a lot to making sure that it seems like it's real people kind of making a documentary. So I admired it for what it was because I knew what it was at the time and what it represents and how groundbreaking it was. But the issue is, and I think Gene might share this opinion, The issue is that we've seen Paranormal Activity. We've seen all these other movies.
Oh, you're touching on what I was going to talk about.
Yeah, and but this is the conversation though. This is the conversation I feel like that you know, Gene. Like this is we've seen this movie a million times done better. But my argument is it made me kind of more pissed off at the Paranormal Activity franchise because I'm like, they're literally this concept was I knew it was a ripoff. I always knew that, okay, Paranormal Activity ripped off Blair Witch, but I just never saw the actual Blair Witch. I just heard so much about it. I just
taking my entire goddamn argument.
Yeah, sorry. No, Gene, you and I are on the same level. But yeah, no, it's just like I just walked out of the movie like, yeah, I didn't think it was good. Like it wasn't really entertaining, only because we've seen this a million times being ripped off. So it's kind of not fair to the movie, you know? But I don't know, Gene, I'll let you take it.
Yeah.
I'll let you take it from there. And I'm honestly not the biggest fan of I kind of hate the Paranormal Activity franchise.
Oh, we're going to fight.
Yeah. I don't know.
Hold on.
Bravo, have you ever seen a Paranormal Activity movie?
Let's fight. Let's shake. I have not. No, but when I was reading the reviews after I watched the Blair Witch Project movie, I saw reviews and Endin explained, and almost all of them pointed out the same thing, Dan, that they kind of inspired or invented that home film shaky video, and they always reference
they invented these nuts, bro.
Okay, in the movie or in the reviews.
All right. Wait, the Dan want me to take it away?
Yeah, you wildin', boy.
So basically, I admired the movie for what it did at the time because I already knew about it. But it just as overall, it's just in a vacuum. I was like, yeah, no, I've seen this a million times before. Because I saw all of the things that ripped it off, which it's not fair. But so yeah. Anyway, what about you, Gene?
Well, Dan stole my whole goddamn argument, so I'll just riff off of it. Okay, basically, I need a drink for this one.
No, because I was excited to finally watch the Blair Witch Project. I knew everything about it, but I just never actually saw it.
I think I would have liked it better, and probably Dan too.
Yeah, me too. That was the same with me.
We had seen it prior to seeing like Cloverfield and Paranormal Activity. You know what I'm saying? Because like, yeah, at the time with the marketing and the concept, like I don't know much about the history of like found footage film, but that was like the one I took off.
It was the first one, basically.
Oh shit, it was. Okay.
Essentially, yeah, or at least it popularized it. It must have been. It must have been.
And it shows because they made a fuck ton of money. You know, it's a $200,000 or $500,000 budget, and it made $248 million at the box office, which is crazy. Like, imagine if that's like if you and I just made a movie.
Because no one's made like a found footage. It's literally, we found someone's footage. It's cut up. We cut it up into a movie. And that was the genius. It's more about the story behind it. It's like, here's the genius of the marketing of like, oh, it's real. It really happened. And that's why it gave it such legendary status.
It is. And it's just really cool that like these two dudes, like, you know, like it's just two people wrote, directed, and edited it. So that's like literally you and I, Dan, we wrote, directed, and edited the movie. And, you know, took out $500,000 in fucking loans and then just paid it back plus $247 million more dollars. Like, we'd be rich. Like, we'd be set for life. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's crazy that happened. Like, honestly, like, kudos to them because I would love to do that. Like, that is a blueprint for, like, independent filmmakers. You know, Kevin Smith did it. Like, you know, I can't hate on that. That's amazing, you know? Because, listen, I would love to do that. I would love to make a movie and have it take off and, like, cool. But like, you know, so maybe, you know, I understand like why 99? Was it 99? Yeah, 99, why it did as well as it did.
1999, yes.
And, you know, marketing is huge. And, you know, back then you couldn't just go on the internet and Google, like, what is this? You know, you couldn't just go on Google and to take you to the website and you find out, like, oh, it's fake. Like, you know, you could make a whole marketing campaign with missing posters and people would think, like, oh, shit, is this real? And that grows buzz and, you know, it brings people out to the movie theater. Awesome. And then you get there and you're watching this movie that's, like, that's shot like an amateur film. It's not, you know, because by that point, people have already seen, like, Jurassic Park and Seven. They're used to, like, good, like, well-shot movies, right? Mm-hmm. So you get there like, oh, but this is an amateur movie looking like, like it's just like a movie like there's no name actors, just like some kids like in the fucking forest. I get it. It's cool.
It's genius of an idea.
Is. Oh, it is. So,
and Hollywood recognized that, and we're like, we're gonna steal that.
We're just spoiled motherfuckers who just happen to see it after we've seen Paranormal Activity, which is the same goddamn movie except in a house. Like the ending, an unseen forest, the scream, like it's just like. Because listen, I love Paranormal Activity 1. I love that movie. One part that sticks with me is, in the movie when I forget her name, but she yells like Micah. She fucking yells, like, and then some unseen force knocks him into the camera, and then it's her, like it's like I think I love that movie. I think it's really well done. But the Blair Witches did it first, except the Blair Witches. That's okay. So that's like I get it, but that's my issue with it. It's an unseen force the entire time. And I don't know if it would have been better if they would have just hired someone to be like the witch.
I have an answer for that because I thought the same thing.
Okay.
So, yeah, no, that's a great point because I thought the exact same thing. So, it pisses me off that like I was watching this movie and I was like, how similar is it going to be to Paranormal Activity?
Did you watch it alone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
scared.
Fine. No,
I didn't.
Really. Well, because I was like, I knew the setup. We've seen this before. Like I mean, honestly, I'll say the Blair Witch Project does it better because, I mean, the Paranormal Activity, they had the retrospective. They made their own decisions, but it was much more found footage in the sense that it looked like real people. It didn't have like a more polished look like the Paranormal Activities movies do. It literally looked like home video. But they do the same beats. It's in the beginning, everything's fine. We're all cool. 90% or at least the first half of the movie is just bullshit. Just setup, just setting it up. And then they just make you think you're in this real happy world. They try to get you into like, nothing's going to go wrong in this movie. Like this is just a regular family. This is just a regular group of friends. Then they show them doing a little mischief, a little bit of sin. They're sinning a little bit. They're in a hotel room. They're drinking. They're making some reckless decisions. So maybe now you're softening the blow. If something happens to them, maybe they had it coming. They were drinking a little bit, and that's the devil don't like that. Jesus don't like that.
Yeah, man. Condemn my ass for drinking this fucking beer. Am I right?
So they're being
the vibes.
These are the beats. These are the beats, man. And this movie had everyone. So then it's like, okay, they're being a little reckless. Then they go into the woods. They're very naive. They're very naive kids. They just, we're just gonna go in and shoot this movie, man. And like they're all just like not really that likable hippies. Like where you're just like, get a fucking job, you scumbags. and it's like you're slowly, and then it's like, one of them loses the map, and they see one scary thing. This is all like within like they have to do this over like an hour, just so like the pacing is all the same in these movies. And then it's like, so and then it's just going to slowly, someone's going to go missing and then like they're in a tent and it's like, you just hear something. I almost felt like at one point I was watching an episode of like Ghost Hunters where it's like, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Yes, maybe in the background, maybe it was just a rock. Did you hear that? It's like, what? Like the producer's just like throwing a rock, like, did you hear that? Did you see that? But no, I'm just kind of making fun of it. But yeah, I mean, it just followed all the beats. And then at the end, when you get to like the last 15 minutes, same thing as the Paranormal Activity movies, then you have like the last 15 minutes of payoff of like, that's all the payoff at the end where you get introduced to like, it's all just shit hits the fan. And you spend all that time of the entire fucking movie building up. That's why I don't like the Paranormal, because the whole fucking thing is like, you get 80% of the movie, nothing happening. And then the last 20% of the movie, something happens. But like that's like the build up. It's all about that build up. So the payoff is much greater at the end. So the reason why I thought about like when you get to the end, they're in the house, right, Bravo? And she's like screaming, literally just like a Paranormal Activity movie. And she's like, where are you? Where are you? And then the big ending is all you just see is him creepy, like standing in a corner, and she just falls to the ground, and that's it. So then I was like, wait, they're not going to reveal like we're not going to get like a glimpse of a witch or like just someone coming out and sounds going, or like someone like gnawing at her skin in the background, or like, no, that was it. And then I was like, oh, that's why they didn't do it, because they're trying to market it as if this really happened.
Yeah. I get that. They don't
So
want to
that's
show, like,
so I was like, they couldn't have. So it worked because they couldn't have, because if you went all out, if you were going into that movie genuinely thinking this is real, then that's gonna freak you the fuck out way more than like any other.
Oh yeah.
So that was
especially think about it. Especially sorry, Dan. Especially people that are living in the area where it was apparently filmed in Maryland. So imagine people back then in Maryland. They're like, oh shit. No, because a lot of people, they said after the movie premiered, a lot of people went into Maryland. Like people were coming from different states, going into Maryland woods to try to recreate and actually find a Blair Witch. So they pulled it off pretty good.
God.
They
That's
pulled
some
it
white
off.
people shit. Like, let's go find the witch that killed all these people. Yeah.
It's like they're like, oh, we're so happy to buy this house, but there's been a few hauntings here. But we're so happy to move in. I'm like, okay, all right, it's yours.
It was just I don't think I've ever felt a way about a movie like this. So it's like, I don't like this. This is kind of like, I know everything. I know everything that's coming. But that's because every movie that I've seen is ripping off this one. So it's like, this is the original that like started all these tropes.
Exactly. And because like, listen, I love Paranormal Activity. I love Cloverfield. Like, so I have to start somewhere, and I respect the shit out of that, I'm just, so it's like I'm conflicted because I'm like, I don't know, I guess in like 99 I would have loved this, or if I watched it before I watched this aforementioned movies, I would have loved it. So because like, I always, what is it, the unseen killer thing, I always think back to Jaws and Alien. They're very famous for doing that. Alien, you don't see the alien, you just catch glimpses of it, and then at the ending, it's fully revealed. Same with Jaws.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm not sure if that was they were like trying to allude to that. Maybe they were. I don't know, even subconsciously. So that's why when Bravo said monster movie, I was like, I don't know about that one. Because the monster movie, the monster is teased. Like, you see glimpses of it. Like,
actually,
it starts off unseen, and then you see glimpses of it as the movie goes on. So killing people, just picking them off.
Well, actually,
listen. But
okay.
A staple of the monster movie is that the main characters are picked off one by one, right?
Exactly.
And then you lead up to the final confrontation of the main character, your Ellen Ripley versus the monster. This doesn't have that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm gonna argue it's not a monster movie.
I would argue that yes, it was okay. I would argue that it's not a monster movie, but it was originally supposed to be, because in the trivia, it states that that scene where they're all running and Hannah's like, "What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that?" And they keep running and they like all kind of fall down, whatever. Originally in that scene, they actually had an actress in like a white gown. That was supposed to be the monster, but they said that whole scene, it was totally unscripted. That it was supposed to be a sleeping scene, and that director shook the tent, which actually scared the actors and made them run out. And just the adrenaline and being scared, the cameraman forgot to pan to the left to where the monster was going to be. That was the original plan, and they never reshot that scene because it would have taken. It wasn't going to be the same effect as them knowing the actress is not going to be there, so
right.
With that, I would say that it was originally a monster film. Is it? No, because like you said, we don't see the monster, but it has they tease the monster a bit with the twigs, with the rocks, one by one to start going out. It was only 3 of them. It wasn't like a group of them. Josh went out, and they have the scene where the Blair Witch throws the rag of his clothes, his teeth, his hair. Eventually, it's Mike after, because he's the one who's seen being possessed, and then it's Hannah. So it has that aspect too. So I would argue personally that, knowing the facts that the director said it was supposed to be, or originally it was supposed to be a monster film. Another fun fact. And now, if you want to talk about that, the 2016 remake, which is just Blair Witch, that's an actual monster film, because in the trailer, and I've seen parts of it, because I don't know if you want it's not spoiler alert because I haven't seen it. I've only read reviews and seen the trailer. That movie is based on Hannah's brother that wants to go back after all these years to find out what really happened to his sister, Hannah. And in those scenes in the trailer, you can clearly see the Blair Witch is present and shows herself or itself. So although this one, the Blair Witch Project, 1999 movie, doesn't show any clear images or scenes of a monster, it was originally with the monster. They just forgot to pan to the left, which is pretty smart because I also read that throughout the movie, they only had walkie-talkies. So they were close enough, but not close enough to be seen or be heard. The crew, the cast members.
Oh, that is pretty
So they
cool.
they were all over. They were in the woods close to them, but just not to a point where they really could not be seen or heard, so that they wouldn't be seen in the movie and the audio, but also the actors would feel like they were actually alone and they had walkie-talkies. And that elements of the director being, you know what, this is totally unscripted. I scared the shit out of them because he said that I wanted them to feel like there was actually something going on. Just the cameraman forgot to pan to the left, but there was someone, an actress in like a white gown kind of thing. Not like The Ring, like the monster in The Ring, but
That's
something similar to that.
Yeah, like a white gown, long black.
Yeah,
I just
so
right, yeah, because we're so conditioned. Because all these movies are the fucking same.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and I think
exactly.
It's cool, like,
so therefore,
yeah, no, it's cool. Like you're going through a lot of, you're doing a lot to instill fear in your actors to make it authentic. I love that shit. And you know, I was reading about how they shot like a bunch of footage and had to cut it down to 2 hours, and I think that's really cool.
Oh,
so it would have been cool to see, like, you know, like what's all that footage like. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, you know, like that's a lot of footage. Like, what is it? Just them, these motherfuckers? 20 hours of footage. Like they're just sitting around a campfire, twigs going off. Like them, just like, oh god, I'm so scared. Like, you know, how much can you shoot? You know. And also, I was reading about how.
Got it. They just had to hit the beats. They had to hit the rising tension, the rising someone goes missing.
Yeah, but for 20 hours, Dan. 20
hours.
No,
I know. Right, yeah.
20 hours, Dan.
Well, they wanted to make it look authentic, so they kept
20 hours.
Yeah, that is a little ridiculous, but
I do, and I was reading about how they tested the original ending, and people were like audiences were like I don't know, confused, and then they wanted to change the original ending, and they shot 4 alternate endings, and then they decided to keep the original one. So it's like, you know, and like things like that, it's like, okay, cool, like, there's alternate endings, there's a bunch of extra footage, like that's cool, you know, whatever. I think, you know, it adds layers to the film and whatever, and like what could have been. And like shit, with 20 hours you can make a bunch of different cuts in a movie, because it just doesn't edit it out to, you know,
absolutely.
exactly 82 minutes. You could do a lot with 20 hours and chop. It's like it's you know, a director's cut can be so many different cuts of this, which is cool. You know, I mean, did they settle on the best one? I mean, they probably feel they did, you know, whatever. Like, we could feel differently. You know, basically, yeah. I'm a Dan on this. Like, you're like, I like it, but I was like, don't, because I'm spoiled with modern day cinema. But like, I also get and I respect, you know, what it did, and I get why it's so, you know, important to like history. So it's like a weird position to be in, you know?
Yeah, we've seen the movie way too many times.
Andy, you broke us, you fuck.
You know, the vibes.
No, I did. I've wanted to see the Blair Witch for a long time, but it's like, yeah, like you said, Gene, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, I've known about the movie for so long. I know that it was like basically the original Paranormal Activity. I knew like how they portrayed it to be real. I just never actually watched it. And now that I watched it, I was like, oh, yeah, that literally is Paranormal Activity. It literally is. And they just copy it. Like, I'm just like, that's sucks that they ripped them off. I mean, I guess, but man, this movie is not that good in hindsight, like, you know.
Captain Hindsight.
I mean, just that, yeah, oh my god, you knew where it was all going. Also, it was going through my mind is like, the whole movie, I was just,
it hits the beats.
I was just like, as I was counting all the beats and just going through like, here's when this is gonna happen. I
can't get mad at that, because you know the movie doesn't hit the beats that I wasn't a fan of. Dan knows what I'm talking about. What movie that I did not like because I think it was just like doesn't follow a formula enough for me?
Hardcore Henry. Oh, you jackass! Don't. Hey. All right. So the one thing I was thinking was, you know, if this movie was made in 2021, the one thing that the producer would be like that is missing.
Shot on a fucking iPhone.
No, yes, but like the one big thing that a producer would be coming in and being like, no, this is what we got to do. This is great. This is all great.
Very guns. God damn it.
No, he'd be like, one of you has to start banging that girl.
Oh yeah. Oh,
we need.
Oh no.
I was so shocked. I was so.
Yeah,
that was the one thing that I was surprised about in this movie. I was like, this is a horror movie. It's found footage. These two guys and this one girl in the woods. No one's banging that girl. I was like,
no, yeah, exactly. Okay, I mean,
there was no sexual. There wasn't, right?
I'm gonna trigger warning. I'm gonna trigger
Dan,
warning.
wait, Dan, Gene, hold on. No, Dan, there was originally another one. Originally, it was supposed to be that Hannah and Mike were supposed to have like a romantic relationship, romantic liking of each other, but the director said it was too corny. It was too corny. It was too cliche.
That was too corny.
Because it is.
No, he said that the director said it was too corny and too cliche, and they just scrapped that idea.
Little did they know that this whole movie in 2021 would be cliche. But not to their fault.
No. Trigger warning. If this was shot in the modern day, like Dan said, producer would be like, all right, we need more like consensual sex, or she's got to get raped. And then and I fucking hate this in horror movies, but for some reason, if there's a woman, they're like, oh, you're gonna get raped, huh? And it's like, no, motherfucker, like that's not. They're a human and a fully fledged character. They don't exist just for that.
Gene, this is a little insider. This is a little insider movie stuff. But
you know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about, Dan.
You know why you and I both think this?
Why?
Because we've seen Cabin in the Woods.
I fucking love
Cabin in the Woods.
I know.
Lit.
That's why we vote, because it's like it's literally a producer in the back of the room. All right, show us the goods, baby. This is a horror movie. People want tits and blood.
Damn right.
No, it's right. Yeah. And like just like, oh god.
But that was I gotta give the movie points. That was literally the one trope that they were like, yeah, no, we don't need that. I kind of give it points for like that was the only thing that like they didn't do that hasn't been done in every movie. I was so shocked. I was like, when's someone gonna start laying the tent like you know, the cameras to the side?
It was a 5 out of 5 for me.
And all of a sudden, like, hey baby, take your pants off. Like, what? I don't want to. Mike, stop it. Stop it.
Dan, you fucker. Dan, no, stop. Oh god.
Then just
Ew.
Did you hear that? What was that? Just get your pants back on, babe.
Oh my god.
I'll finish later. That's all that this movie would have needed to be in 2021.
You know what movie fucking does that I despise?
Which one?
The Green
Every horror movie.
Inferno. The Green Inferno. It
really?
fucking does that. Oh my god. It's like literally the whole point of the any woman in it is like, oh yeah, you're a woman. Guess what's gonna happen to you? And it's like, oh god, bad writing all over the place.
I don't even think. My issue is that it's just it's a trope, you know.
No, exactly. And the Green Inferno is the worst fucking offender of that.
Yeah. So I mean,
that's right, people. Fuck you, Eli Roth. That's what I'm here for.
I really.
He actually directed Cabin in the Woods. No, he did Cabin Fever. Never mind. So fuck you, Eli Roth again.
Yeah. No, I really appreciated the movie. I liked a lot about it, but as far as the story and the beats,
the Bear Jew. But fuck you, Eli Roth.
The Bear Jew. That's right. Oh my god. But yeah, I don't know. I gave it oh god, what would I give it? I don't even know. I'd give it like I'm almost hesitant to 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10. Oh wow.
What is that, like a 2 and like
that's like a 2?
It's 2.5.
2.5.
But like it's neutral. It's like it's a passable. Like just when I weigh all the pros and cons, it's really hard to judge this movie. It's really hard for me because it's like, yeah, I would have, if I saw this movie before all the Paranormal Activity movies, I would have been like, fuck those movies even
also,
more.
Green Inferno's racist. Sorry, I'm still fixing the Green Inferno. Sorry.
But, yeah, I don't know. Did anyone else? Any other points you guys want to say? I kind of honestly,
I'll give it like a 3 out of 5. Like a 3 out of 5 as in like, I understand its cultural significance. That's great. But I'm also gonna like stick, because like, okay, here's the thing. Even though everything's been done already, right? We all know that. We should still be able to watch an old movie and be like, this holds up. Like 7, I think a 7 is fucking perfect. Have you seen 7, Dan?
Oh my god, of course. What's in the box?
It's perfect. Like it holds up. Like there's nothing new, but it's so good.
Yeah.
So like things like that, like movies, I'm like, yeah, this is old, but god damn, this is good. You know?
Yeah,
like,
it's that the most other movies like that are in that genre, like they have some sort of hook that makes them distinguishable. Like there's been a million heist movies, but you do a different hook. Like Ocean's 11 has been made.
I love Ocean's 11.
It's been made a million times, but like Ocean's 11, it has like amazing cast. Like there's hooks to it. And with this movie, it's difficult because it's like, it's just doing every single trope a horror movie's ever done, especially in a found footage, especially Paranormal Activity, like this other franchise. But it's like it's the one who started. It makes me, I don't hate this movie. This movie just makes me hate Paranormal Activity even more. Like it just makes me it, you know what I mean? I think that's what it is. It's like, because I wish I reversed, like, you know, I guess it's really hard for me to explain, but yeah, I don't know. Bravo. Anything else you want to say about it? I'm glad you recommended it. I'm glad I finally watched it.
No, and I was reading also another fun fact from the trivia. A lot of people call this, like you guys said, the original kind of to inspire that a home film, shaky, scary self film. But actually, there was a movie before that in the 80s, I think, or 70s. That actually was one of the first movies to feature that kind of film. I'm trying to find the movie right now, the name. I can't figure it out. I'll look through the trivia, but that people say that was what actually inspired the Project of the Blair Witch. So it's up to you if you think that movie, the older movie, if you haven't seen it, if you actually think it's the original shaky video inspiration type of movie. But a lot of people say that the Blair Witch was inspired.
I think
I'm trying to find it right now.
I don't think the Blair Witch is the first one to do it. I think the Blair Witch is the one that popularized it.
Yeah, like
that popularized it. Yes.
Yeah, like Night of the Living Dead isn't the first zombie movie, but it's the one that
it's the most influential.
Yes.
So that's I mean, yeah, man, it's an interesting movie to try to judge. Because I actually thought I went in. It's funny. I thought it was gonna be really fucking scary. I was like, oh man, here we go. And then
it's like, oh god, I'm so scared.
I was like, this is gonna be a fucking.
Marissa, hold me.
I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight. And then I watched. I was like, oh, this really is just Paranormal Activity. I was like, holy fuck.
I'm gonna post a meme.
I've been lied to. I've been lied to so much. But I So
I'm gonna post a meme. I have to post it after you watch, like after we drop this episode. But I haven't. I guess like an Instagram post. It's gonna be Dan watching Blair Witch. Like I just sent it in the chat. But it's gonna make sense. Like I didn't watch the episode.
Gotcha.
Yeah, bravo.
I fixed it.
Dan while watching the Blair Witch Project. He's looking at the picture, y'all.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Dan's just like.
I'm straight Stephen A. Smith on this bullshit.
Yeah, just a whole lot of mid. Like whatever.
So.
Jason's gonna love that reference.
Yeah.
Shout out Jason Demeter. Shout out Jason Demeter.
Shout out my son Jason. And the vibes.
It's okay. Jason and I's teams are out of the playoffs, but it's okay. We're still homies. We're Bucks fans now. I don't know. He's gonna dispute that.
Oh no.
So
3 out of 5 for me, 5 out of 10 for Bravo. Dan, what about you? What's your letterbox score?
Yeah, it's 2.5 out of 5.
Oh, Dan with a score, Gene.
No, it's a 5. No, it's
2.5 out of 5 or 5.10 or 5.
It's 5 out of 5. It's 5 out of 10.
Yeah,
5 out of
exactly.
10.
Yeah, but that's good. All right. Anyway, so watch the movie.